Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with fabulous concert programs, number 56. And it's the fourth in our series dedicated to the lesser played works, major works, really important works by Sibelius. And today we're taking on the Fourth Symphony, Sibelius's darkest and grimmest symphonic work. Oh, it's really gripping and beautiful and austere and bleak, and it belongs on the first half of the program. Why? Well, it's actually a good length. It's about 35 minutes long, all told, with little pauses between movements, a little bit longer. Sometimes these days people tend to stretch out the third movement to unconscionable lengths, but basically that's what you get. It ends quietly. Well, sort of quietly. It ends like mezzo forte, or mezzo piano or something. It ends mezzo. It's just da 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 da, yam bum 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 bum. That's the end. It's not the kind of ending that leaves you so drained that nothing can follow it, or that sort of represents a totally emotionally satisfyingly complete statement in and of itself. I mean, the symphony is that. It is. But the ending is deliberately offhand. It's not life is miserable or life is anything. It's who gives a damn. That's the ending of this symphony. It's dismissive. And so, having been dismissed, we can run off to intermission and come back and really enjoy something completely and entirely different. And this is the perfect case where you have a program where if you've got a really good soloist and a really exciting concerto, that should come as the climax of the concert at the end of the second half. So that's what I've done in this program. Now, after the Sibelius Fourth and intermission, we come back and I have chosen first Saint-Saëns Phaëton. No one played. I've never seen it. I mean, nobody does Phaëton. It's really cool. You know the story. He hijacks, what's his name's chariot, and the chariot of the sun, and he's just having a grand old time with it. But apparently it's Apollo's chariot of the sun, something like that. I don't know. You know your mythology better than I do. Do not tell me what it is. I don't care. Nobody cares. It's just something bad happens to the guy. He's driving the chariot of the sun. It's getting too close to the earth. Everything is starting to singe. And so Zeus zaps him with a thunderbolt, and he falls to the ground. Splat. That's what happens to him after he gets zapped. And the zapping is the most wonderful thing. It's a roll on like all four timpani all at once, or three timpani, however many there are, followed by a bass drum, a cymbal, and a crash on the tam-tam, which has never been rendered as loudly as it should be. You just cannot believe how many performances, and I've heard all of them, recorded performances of Phaëton there have been, that have this pathetic excuse for a thunderbolt. I mean, it should be cataclysmic, and it's just weep, it drives me nuts. Nobody has the guts to just make a hellish noise, where Saint-Saëns clearly writes in the score, "Hey folks, make a hellish noise." But that's okay. The piece itself is wonderful, and in our concert, that's what they're going to do. And if, like me, you happen to have a tam-tam sitting around in your house, I have like 6 of them right over there, do your own. Have a little fun with it, or if you have a pair of cymbals, make your own hellish noise at the moment in question. You'll feel much better for it. But anyway, it's only like 9 or 10 minutes long, and it has this in common with the Sibelius Fourth. They are both works about failure. I don't know how else to say. It's not failure in like a boring, uninteresting musical sense. I mean, pieces that end in defeat. The Sibelius Fourth unquestionably ends in defeat. It works up to a huge climax in the finale that just tears itself to shreds and dies away in despair, and finally just that last dismissive gesture. Phaëton obviously ends in failure. It's programmatic. He's a bad driver. He's a bad driver, so he gets zapped and he goes crashing to the ground. It's wonderful. It's quite clear what's happening. The zapping and the crash back down to earth. And then there's a little elegiac coda that does it. And so the pieces have that in common. And again, I love things that have something in common, but they're completely different in style musically. Totally different. I mean, Sibelius' symphony could not be less programmatic. This is a tone poem that tells a specific story. And yet, hearing one provides insight into the other. They belong together somehow. And having said that, however, the Sibelius is certainly different enough in style that we can follow it up and make the transition to a razzle-dazzle, slam-bang concerto finale. And in this case, I just picked Prokofiev's third because I love it, and it's fabulous, and audiences love it, and soloists play the bejesus out of it. It's exciting. It's incredibly exciting. You know how that ending goes with the cymbal crashes one after another, that coda that just won't quit, the pianist keeps trying, and then finally, and the audience is on their feet. Sometimes the pianists are too. When Martha Argerich plays it, and I've seen her do it a few times, she's usually standing up by the time we get to the end. It's really kind of amazing. It's that exciting. It just lifts you out of your seat. And I think that's a great way to end a concert that begins with such a dark and brooding piece, but ends it in a way which does complete justice to the whole thing. It doesn't undercut the Sibelius. It just takes us elsewhere, and a place where at that point we're going to want to go. So that's the program. Try it at home. And if you don't know Saint-Saëns' Phaëton, give it a shot. It's a beautiful piece. Great fun. Tremendous fun. And it's so graphically clear what's going on, even in the performances where they make a damp squib out of the zapping part, which drives me crazy. Anyway, keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Oops, let me see if I get that right. Take care.